Welcome to the Betting Above the Rim podcast. Today's date, July 7th, episode 164 of the Betting Above the Rim podcast. And let's get started with tip-off topics. I got to talk fast because I got to go through about 7 things. Leading off with the trade that took place today. 3-team trade took place today between the Clippers, the Jazz, and the Miami Heat, in which the main components are John Collins being traded to the Clippers, Norman Powell being traded to Miami, and obviously Kevin Love, Kyle Anderson, and some picks being traded to Utah. Let's take a look at it really quickly from each team. For the Clippers, really intrigued by this front line of Kawhi Leonard, John Collins, and Ivica Zubac. I think that's going to be one of the best front lines in the Western Conference. And obviously, they're going to have to lean on James Harden to score and continue to score well. But to me, this was a move that you have to give to get. They have more need in the front court than they did in the back court, so that's why this trade makes sense for them. For Miami, getting Norman Powell is going to be interesting because now you have Norman Powell to play alongside Tyler Hero in that 2-3 combination. That's extremely small at those spots. I got to see how they fit in defensively. Key thing is they have to get a guard to go ahead and play there. Utah, simply put, punt. They are going to probably buy out Kevin Love, buy out Slow-Mo Anderson, and we said this before. I want people to understand this. I said this, and Matt will back me up. I said 3 or 4 of these guys have to get traded. Markkanen, Collins, Clarkson, Sexton. Sexton traded, right? Obviously, Clarkson bought out, went to the Knicks. And now John Collins obviously goes to the Clippers. Look for this to talk about in regards to Ace Bailey and what he does. Speaking of Ace Bailey, I'm going to jump ahead. And I'm going to go right to this match really quick. Ace Bailey and VJ Edgecombe put on a little bit of a show, particularly VJ Edgecombe scoring 28 points in his summer league debut. Ace Bailey struggled with only 8 points, but to me, the 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, his movement and his hustle is what I was looking for out of Ace Bailey. Simply put, this VJ Edgecombe is going to be an interesting backcourt because of the athleticism to play alongside of Tyrese Maxey. Maybe McCain comes off the bench. And as for Ace Bailey, look for him to be the main piece, or they're obviously the number 2 scoring option behind Lauri Markkanen, unless Lauri Markkanen gets moved. Let's head and let's stay in the Western Conference and now talk about the Lakers finally doing something. We were wondering where they were going to go get a center, and they went and got it. And it's DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton, who we talked about last week, was bought out by the Portland Trail Blazers, signed a 2-year deal with the Lakers with a player option of obviously all of this as according to Shams Charania. And to me, this is, I don't know if this is enough to keep LeBron happy, but it's the best that they're going to get. I will say this, and everybody knows this. I was the head of the DeAndre Ayton fan club on SportsGrid, and I was also the last one to jump off the ship. If you get him right, if you get him around the right people, I firmly believe that DeAndre Ayton can be a 16-point, 10-rebound a night guy. I don't think he's going to be the denominating 22 or 23 points a night that I thought he could have been. But when you look at Phoenix, when they were at their best, when they went to the NBA Finals, DeAndre Ayton was a core piece of it. You got to see if the guy loves the game. But for the Lakers, for a team that needs some kind of front court help, we saw what happened in the NBA playoffs. Going small. Not playing, Alex and Jackson Hayes. They had to do something. By the way, Jackson Hayes did sign with the Lakers. I think this is a low risk, high reward move for the Lakers. The problem is, will it be enough to keep LeBron James happy? Speaking of LeBron, Bronny made his Summer League debut. In his first game in Summer League, Bronny James went out and scored 10 points in 11 minutes, 3 of 7 from the floor, 2 of 5 from 3, and had a dunk. And it was a great performance for Bronny. My question is, why 11 minutes? Why? This kid needs to play. And he needs to play a lot. And he needs to be on the floor to see if he can be a rotational piece for the Lakers next year. And he's not going to do it in 11 minutes of Summer League. So unless this kid was hurt, that kid's got to be playing 28 minutes a night in Summer League. You got to see what you have in him. They need to stop protecting him if that's what they're doing. And I know. We'll talk about it in the award tour, teaser. They want him in Vegas. And they need him the ball out in Vegas. And a small conspiracy theory in me is like, if Bronny struggled in that game, does he only play 11 minutes? Or was it kind of like the NFL, right? First preseason game. Starters come in. If they go down the field and it's one series, they're like, we're done for the night. But if they go 3 and out, the coach may say, hey, run it back for a second series. I wonder if because Bronny got off such a good start, they probably didn't need to play him more than those 11 minutes. It'll be interesting to see what happens when Bronny gets to Vegas. An interesting move that we saw take place last week was Jonas Valanciunas getting traded to Denver. Now, there's an interesting development that's taking place is a Greek team wants Valanciunas. Valanciunas is from Europe. So Denver came out and said that, according to Shams, that they fully expect him to honor his contract and view Valanciunas as a critical center addition to back up Nikola Jokic. Simply put, if they were to keep Valanciunas, and along with getting Bruce Brown back, I really think that they are a legitimate top 3 team, top 4 team in the West. The problem is Jonas Valanciunas has played a long time in this league, and he's a starter. If he's in Denver, he's getting at most 12, 14 minutes a night. You have to wonder if there is enough for someone like Jonas Valanciunas. Lastly, sneaky trade that I liked. Cam Whitmore, who you guys know I was big on, obviously Villanova guy, is heading back home to the DMV area. That's the DC, Baltimore area, if y'all don't know it. And the trade from Houston to Washington and included 2 second-round draft picks. I want people to understand this. I know they have CJ McCollum. I know they have Chris Middleton. I know they have Marcus Smart at the guards. I know they have Kelly Olynyk at the forward spot. But this is about Bud Carrington. This is about Alex Sarr. This is about Bilal Coulibaly. This is about Cam Whitmore. This team will be awful next year, and they will go firmly under their win total. I am looking for that number because I'm going under that. Coming up next, we'll get into our award tour. I teased it. Cooper Flag, Bronny James, Vegas Summer League. We'll take a look at some of their props along with the Golden State Valkyries. They keep winning and winning, but can they make the playoffs? We'll be back with our award tour after this commercial break. Welcome back to the Betting Above the Rim podcast, episode 164. And it's time to get into our award tour as we break down future markets. For this award tour, before we get to the WNBA, let's focus on the top pick of the 2025 NBA draft and the most polarizing name of the 2024 draft. And let's look at some interesting props that have come out from the FanDuel Sportsbook. And let's start with Cooper Flagg. 25 plus points in any game, Vegas Summer League plus 120. 30 plus in any game, plus 450. Same thing for 4 plus made threes in any game. Record a double-double at minus 110. And record a triple-double at 25 to 1. When you look at Cooper Flagg, I think he's going to be used in a way in Dallas at times of point forward. You look at them not having Kyrie and how good of a passer Cooper Flagg is. I think he's going to have the ball in his hands a ton. Put him in pick and roll situations as a 6'8", 6'9" small forward, see over the defense, even if you play him as a power forward. Big, 4-5 pick and roll. I think it's incredibly hard to defend. I also think Cooper Flagg is a fantastic defender. Great shot blocker and a really adept rebounder. Could he get you 25 points in a summer league game? Absolutely. But to me, I think Cooper Flagg's best served with Dallas is to be a jack of all trades kind of guy. So that means I like minus 110 to get a double-double in a game. With it being points, rebounds, and assists, you just got to get 2 out of the 3. I wouldn't be shocked if he went triple-double. But I'm not going to lay that with that big of a number. I'm just going to go Cooper Flagg, double-double, because you're basically getting it at even money at minus 110. Let's head to Bronny. 10 plus points in every game of Vegas Summer League. 8.5, plus 8.5. 20 points in any game, plus 160. 1 made 3 in every game, 2 to 1. 4 made 3s in any game, 2.5 to 1. Double-double, 20 to 1. So this is the one I want to play a little bit more around with money. Number 1 plus made 3 in every game. He went 2 or 3, I do believe, in his first Summer League game in the California Classic. And the knockout part of Bronny's game was his shot. I think the shot looked pretty good in opening day of California Classic. So I'm looking at Bronny, 1 plus made 3 in every game at 2 to 1. Because he's going to get the attempts. I just need to get 1. Where it gets interesting is where I also want to play. And I'm going to play sprinkle on the 2 big ones. 10 plus points in every game at 8.5. Sneaky athletic. Can get in the transition. Moves off the ball well. If he hits a 3, just hit a 3, get a dunk, hit a pull-up jumper. He's at 7. I think it's important that he plays a lot of minutes because they have to see if this kid can man that backup unit with the Lakers. I'm going to take a sprinkle at Bronny at 8.5 for 10 plus points and a small sprinkle on a 20 to 1 double-double. He's going to have to play the point. So I think that is something that you want to take a look at. So for really quick, Cooper Flagg, minus 110 to record a double-double in any game. Bronny James, 1 plus made 3 at 2 to 1. Small sprinkles on 10 plus points in every game at 8.5 to 1. And a double-double at 20 to 1. Let's head to the W, where the team that I told y'all was going to be good, they just keep on playing well. And that's the Golden State Valkyries. Remember, folks, beginning of the year, what was it? 8.5 wins. Then you got to 15.5 wins. Then it got to 18.5 wins, 19.5. Now, the Golden State Valkyries are minus money, folks, to make the WNBA playoffs. Remember, you just have to be one of the top 8 seeds. Minus 160, yes. Plus 130, no. So when you really take a look at the Golden State Valkyries, if the season were to end today, right, I think they would be in the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. The remaining strength of schedule is one that I do believe is pretty difficult. Right now, the Valkyries would be the 6th seed versus the New York Liberty if the season ended right now. The Golden State Valkyries have the 7th toughest schedule left. 27 of the games left to go. Look at these teams that are not good. 2, Connecticut. 2, Chicago, although they've been a tiny bit better. 1, Sparks. 3, Wings. 3, Mystics. And then you look at, they have obviously some tough games. I think it's been an incredible story. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that there's going to be some teams that are going to pass them, and it's going to be extremely, extremely close. Folks, those 3 games with the Mystics and Dallas are tricky spots. I think they just miss out on the playoffs. Plus 130, no. Coming up next, we'll get into our scouting report. We'll break down games in the WNBA for games tipping off on Tuesday night. We'll be back with our scouting report after this commercial break. Welcome back to the Betting Above the Rim podcast, episode 164, and it's time to get into our scouting report as we break down games in the W. 2 games on Tuesday night. Let's take a look. Game number 1, Chicago Sky. Looks like about 5.5 point underdogs as they head to the road to take on Brittany Sykes, Kiki Iriafen, Sonia Citron, and the surprising Washington Mystics that are sitting at 8 and 10. And when you really look at this matchup, you guys know what I said about the Chicago Sky, and maybe I was wrong. They may not be the worst team in the WNBA, but they're second worst, right? A Chicago Sky team that has, though, sneakily, ready folks, covered their last 5 games against the spread. So that is something to take a look at versus a Washington Mystics team that at 8 and 10 playing pretty good basketball, not covered the last 2 games, but covered 7 of the previous 9. If you look at those 2 games they missed out on, there were both losses, including 92-75 last time out at Minnesota. If you look at head-to-head matchups, these teams have played once already this year. 79-72 win by the Washington Mystics. That was a road game at Chicago. I'm laying the points with the Washington Mystics. I think this team may be that last team to get into the playoffs. We'll talk a little bit about the play of Kiki Iriafen, obviously, and Sonia Citron in a little bit when we get to our buzzer beater. But to me, I am looking at the Washington Mystics minus the points. Game number 2, Las Vegas and the Liberty. And this is going to be a weird matchup because the New York Liberty has been a hot mess express since Jonquel Jones went down for injury. They just don't look right. And Brianna Stewart just came off her worst shooting performance of the year. I think something like 3 of 15 or 3 of 17, like a really bad performance. Vegas is 4-6 against the spread their last 10 times out. And the Liberty is right now at I think it's 11-6. And the Liberty, folks, ready? Sit down. They have missed the spread 9 straight games. They are 4-6, I think, in their last 10 games. So you're looking at the averages about 164, 165. Last time out, 92-78 win by the Liberty. I'm going to go with the Liberty are going to break their streak. If you look at the way that Vegas looked last time out, I know they won 86-68, but that game before that 81-54 loss at Indiana was putrid. Now, we got to see when we get Jonquel Jones back for the Liberty, because I think that's the key piece. I want people to understand this. The Liberty with Jonquel Jones, to me, are still the best team in the WNBA. They are still the favorite to win the WNBA championship. When Double J is not there, they're a shell of themselves. So to me, I do think we get a better performance out of Brianna Stewart. I'm going to take a chance there and take the Liberty minus the points. Let's head to our buzzer beater, where the WNBA announced their All-Star Game selections, and I want to make sure we go through it because there's an interesting tidbit. Captains, kind of like the NBA, Caitlin Clark, Nafisha Collier. Players, Aaliyah Boston, Paige Beckers, Alicia Gray, Sabrina Ionescu, Nyeka Onwumike, Satu Sabali, Brianna Stewart, Asia Wilson, Sonia Citron, Skylar Diggins, Ryan Howard, Kiki Iriafen, Kelsey Mitchell, Kelsey Plum, Angel Reese, Alyssa Thomas, Kayla Thornton, Courtney Williams, Gabby Williams, and Jackie Young. Why do I want to bring this up? It's Paige Beckers, it's Kiki Iriafen, and Sonia Citron. 3 rookies are in the All-Star game for the first time since 2011. Do you know who those 3 players were? In 2011, it was Liz Cambage. You don't remember her, 6'8" monster. Courtney Vandersloot. We know about Sloot, what she's done. Oh, yeah. And some kid out of UConn named Maya Moore. What? This class has been dynamic. It's been special. Look at Paige Becker's top 10 in scoring and assists. Iriafen, number 4 in rebounding. And obviously, Sonia Citron, one of the best shooters in the W. This has been your Betting Above the Rim podcast for July 7th. For all things sports gambling, download that Sports Grid app. Pre-game, in-game, post-game, props, predictions, and more from the very best in the sports gambling industry. For my producer, Matty George, Vinny does a great job with the graphics. Thanks for listening, folks, and always remember, it's smarter to be on Sports Grid. Good night.